Hello everybody! Welcome back to Blaster Toad's Game Academy on ToadNet. So we are still listening to the crazy language thingy up here on SoundCloud playlist. That is the word I was looking for. Wow, it has been a long day. I don't think I'm going to be making many back-to-back videos tonight. I think I will end at this one, because otherwise things might start getting really odd with my vocalizations. Okay, so in this video, our player character, who we've set up walking, strafing, and turning, and looking up and down and jumping, we are now going to add a running system. And we are going to add a crouch. So that's what we're going to do here. So we're going to save this to start. We're going to comment our jump. So select and C and not comment. We want to just call this jump. Okay. Make that a nice tight little box. And now let's do sprinting. So what we're going to do is we're going to add another action input. So file, edit, project settings. And then under input here, we are going to, so we've already got jump, we got shooting, we got crouching. We're going to add another one, and we are going to call this run or sprint. Let's call it sprint. And then I am going to make that shift. So left shift for myself. And then we can close this window. And then in here, we're going to right click and type in sprint. Okay. So what we're doing with sprint is when it is pressed, we are going to get our character movement. So we're just going to grab this and pull it right here. Okay. And we are going to set walk speed. Set max walk speed right there. And then we're going to select this either by dragging over it or clicking on it. Control C, Control V to copy paste. So when pressed, we're going to set it. When released, we're going to set it. Okay? When pressed, we want it faster, so we're going to make this 600. 650. Okay. And what speed did I leave my character's movement at? 450 is what I left at. So our walk speed is going to be 450. Our sprint speed is going to be 650. Okay. So here's the nice thing is when we set things like this, and then we right click and promote to variable like we're going to do, and we're going to call this run speed. Okay. When we've made this a variable after setting this here, and we click on variable, we compile first, of course, then our run speed will be set to whatever we had in there. Whereas if we promote to variable while it's 0, that'll be 0, and then we have to go back and set all those. So, oh, this doesn't like this because it's not plugged in. There we go. And then we're going to do the same thing here. Right click, promote to variable, and we're going to call this walk speed. Okay. And then we're going to clean this all up. Just like that. So that it's nice and easy to read. Okay? So now, if we compile, save, and hit play, and if you're not getting this pop-up window here, again, that's just under this arrow, and hit new editor window. Okay? So now if I walk, I'm at this speed, yet if I hit shift, oh, look, I'm going faster. when I hit shift, and then back to regular speed when I stop hitting shift. Let's make that very dramatic. So we are going to set our walk speed to 200 and our run speed to 800. Compile and save. Okay, now before testing this, hit shift. Okay, because that is going to set our walk speed. So now we're nice and slow when we're walking. Walking around, and we hit shift, and woo, there we go. Okay, and I'm gonna set this back to my 450, and this, let's do like 680. The 650 just didn't quite feel fast enough, but that's why we made them variables, so that we can play with it. Okay, so there is our sprinting. Okay, now to make this a little bit more complex, we're gonna take this bit, select these, and just move them down the line. Okay, and we are going to add a variable. We are going to call this stamina. And over here, we are going to make it of type integer. There we go. And how fast should we have this calculate? Actually, we're not going to make that an integer. We're going to make it a float. Okay. File save. Okay. And off here, we're going to do a branch. I'm going to pull out stamina. And we are going to do an is greater than. Is greater than 0. Okay, if it is greater than 0, we want it to run. If it is less than 0, we want it to walk. And actually what we're going to do here is we're going to double click on the line to make a reroute node. We're then going to straighten it off here and bring this line into there, just for nice, easy readability. Look at that. Both of these flow into the one line, and there we go. Okay, so again, that was just double clicking on the line to add that reroute. Okay, so is our stamina greater than 0? If yes, we can run. Okay. And then we'll bring this back, move this up some, and just make things in general all nice and neat. Look at that, good and clean. Okay. Maybe we'll move this down some. There we go. Move this right under the branch, just for keeping things compact. There we go. I think I like that better. Okay. Then, after we set our walk speed, we are going to delay. And let's run this every quarter second. So 0.25. Okay? So every 1/4 second, or 0.25 seconds, we are going to get stamina. We are going to minus float from a float. We're going to minus 1. Okay, and this here we can actually promote to variable running stam drain. Okay, so that way we can set it. Okay, and then we're gonna drag off our stamina again. We're gonna use set stamina. Okay, so every 0.25 seconds, We're going to let this pass through. And it is going to then minus the stamina. So drain the stamina while we're running. Okay. And just to make sure that's working, we're going to pull off here and we're going to print string. And in string, we're going to put the new stamina value. And stamina, we're going to set to something like 50. No. Let's make it real short, 10, so that we know it's working. Okay. So now we can walk around and if we hit shift, our stamina is draining. Oh, but it's only draining when we press the button. Okay, because this is not repeating. So a couple things we can do here. We can make this a loop. Okay, which would actually work quite well. Or, in here, we can not set it to repeating in here. I thought we could, so we're going to make a custom loop. So this is fun, guys. This is actually a very useful tool. So we're going to take all this bit that we just made, we're going to put it up there. We're going to come off and we're going to do a sequence. Okay. In this sequence, we are going to open a gate. We're going to get a gate. So step 1, we want to open it. Well, step 0, we want to open it. Step 1, we want to enter the gate. Okay. And then we want to do another sequence. And what a sequence does is it executes things in order. So it'll do this step, then this step, then this step, then this step, and so on and so forth as we add more pins. Okay, and then we're going to come into our delay. And then our delay is going to enter our gate again. And what this is doing is making a custom timed loop. Okay, so every 0.25 seconds, going to come through and do this thing again. And then do this thing again, and do this thing again, and it's going to loop like that. Okay? Then, when we let go of our key, we're going to close the gate, so it stops looping. Is that making sense? Yes? No? Maybe? Well, you can't respond right now, so if it is not making sense or I'm going too fast on that, please let me know in the comments, and I will fix it for future videos. And then we're going to connect into the stuff that we already did. And run it just like that. So we've just added this loop. Compile and save. Let's hit play. So now, if we hit shift, now our stamina is draining. Oh, and why does it keep on draining? Why are we still draining? Because we're not checking this. Okay, so what we should do is change the order of how we're doing things. So we're going to do this check. So it's going to come in, we're going to move some things around. So we're going to take our setting of the max of the walk speed and we're going to move it down here, and we are going to disconnect all these pins. We're going to right click and break link on all here. Okay, and we're going to bring our custom loop over this way. Then what we want to do is off our sequence, off our first sequence, we're going to move everything down and come into our sequence, and then we are going to check that. Okay. Actually, we're going to do that off step 2. So first we're going to open, and then we are going to... No, actually, that is the way we're going to do it. First, we're going to check this and open, and then second, we're going to enter. That is how we want to do it. And then I'm going to double-click there to add our reroute node. Right-click and straighten, so we have that all nice and clean right there. And bring that in. Okay. Actually, no, I'm going to change my mind one more time. So we're actually going to get rid of the reroute node because we are going to do the branch on our second step. We're going to enter, and then when we're complete, we're going to check our branch again. So that's what we're doing, and we're just going to add a reroute node here, and add a reroute node here. So that is nice and easy to follow. Okay, so now when we press it, we open up our gate, and if our setup is good, if we've got enough stamina, we are going to enter the gate. And we're going to drain our stamina, and then we're going to check again if we have enough stamina. Okay? And then when we're setting our stamina, we're going to come down and set our max walk speed to running. If it is false, however, we're going to set our max walk speed to walking and close the gate. So now, if we start sprinting, we'll get to 0. And it doesn't seem to actually be slowing me down. Let's set that to 100. We'll keep that at 680. There we go. And when we release, we're also going to close the gate. That's the other thing I was missing there. Or when we release, we're going to set the walk speed. That's what I want to do. Yes. Okay. And we're going to clean this up here in a second. So now, when we press shift, we're going to start sprinting. When we stop, we're going to stop sprinting. And we press again, we're going to continue sprinting and stop, and then press, and then when we run out of stamina, we stop sprinting. Okay, how's that look? There we go. So now, let's straighten all this up. Oh. So we're going to select this bit. Ooh. Come on. Select and then shift and select. And there we go. And we're then going to move this bit down some. I'm going to move this back into line here. And we are going to move this one, the setting max walk speed, all the way down here. And at this point, we're going to grab our character movement and give it its own reference to it. We don't have to have that long running blue line. So, and there we go. So, if it's false, we are setting walk speed. But if it's true, we enter the gate. We set our timer, which is going to loop everything for us. and then we drain stamina and set running speed. The other thing we're going to do here is we are going to set a new flag called using stamina. Okay. And we are going to set that to a Boolean type. We're going to come out, pull it out, set, and pull it out, set. Okay. And we'll just scroll out and move all this down some again. Straighten things up. So when we are back to walking speed, we do not want to be using stamina. Or we're going to tell it we are not using stamina. However, when we are running, we're going to tell it we are using stamina. And here's the reason why we're doing that. So, if we go over to let's see, event graph, we are going to make some core stuff here. So one of our core things will be stamina regen. So we are going to do event begin play. We are going to do a sequence here. And we're going to make another loop. So we're going to do gate. We're going to open it in step 0, enter it on step 1. We're going to copy and paste that sequence. Do another delay. So this is going to start as soon as the player starts. It's going to start a loop to add stamina. 0.25, so we'll have it happen every quarter second as well. And then we're going to do a branch. Okay. And then we're going to pull out our using stamina. So get using stamina. So if using stamina is true, we want to do nothing. Because it's currently being used, we do not want to regen. Okay. However, if we are not using stamina, we're going to get stamina. We are going to add a float to a float. And let's call it 0.5. We'll regen slower than we use it running. And then we're going to promote to variable, and we're going to call this stamina regen. Okay. We're going to pull off and set stamina. So if we're not currently using stamina, we're going to start regenning it. Okay. And actually here we are going to use another nice little pre-built thing. We're going to use a clamp. So we're going to clamp float. Straighten that off. Actually, no, we're going to straighten it off here. So minimum is going to be 0. And max will be, promote to variable, max stamina. So this way we can set all these things easily without going back into our blueprints. We can just do it right here. So our max stamina, after we compile, we're going to set to 20. And then we are also going to print string and put this right in there. So now, yay, we're at 20 stamina. And then we're draining stamina, and why we should be adding 0.5 every so many seconds. Something is not right. Oh, we are setting stamina regen. No. We want to set stamina. Sorry, I grabbed the wrong variable there. So now we are slowly gaining stamina, and then if we start running, we are using up our stamina, and then we can't run anymore, but we are now gaining stamina. And then if we start running, we're going to use up our stamina again. Okay, so we may actually want this to be slower. So say, like, instead of every 0.25 seconds, we want it to be every 0.5 seconds. Or every 1 second, whatever. We could even make this a variable regen time. Okay? But yeah, that will give us our running and stamina setup. So we're gonna grab all that, hit C, and we're going to comment this as stamina regen. Okay, and then under our movement, all this that we built here, we are going to C and comment and call this running with stamina drain. And then we're just going to move this down a bit so that it's in its nice own little area and not encroaching on anything, so we can easily go to each thing. Okay. Now the last thing we're going to do in this tutorial, since we're already coming up on a half hour, is crouching. So let's get our button input. So action event crouch. And on pressed, we're going to not branch, we are going to crouch. And on release, we are going to uncrouch. And we'll see if that does not actually change our thing. So this is toggling the movement part here, and it's setting our movement and all that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get capsule component, and we are going to set capsule half height. Okay, and then we're going to copy and paste and plug this in there as well. And then our capsule, we're going to click it. Oh, sorry, I'll scale our window down. Our capsule component here. Going to click it, and now over here, we should be able to find capsule half height is currently 88. Okay, so when we're uncrouched, we want to be at 88. However, when we're crouched, we want to be at about half that, so 44. And now, we have crouching. It's not the prettiest thing, but it works. We get down to half of our height. And we have our running and stamina regen. And when we're crouching, it automatically sets our speed to the crouching speed because we're using the crouch and uncrouch, which is already built into the character movement. So again, with this, you can tune those numbers under walking here, they have the walking crouch speed. Yeah, if we put that to like 250, and we put our walk speed to 400, and we set our walk speed here to be the same, 400. Our running speed, 600. It doesn't have to be quite so dramatic. And with these right here, and with the settings in here, you can tune your player to be whatever sort of movement you want it to portray. So whether you want some crazy running guy that's always going super fast, or whether you want a nice leisurely walk building up to a run, whatever. Okay, that crouching speed does not seem to be significantly slower. So yeah, might want to do some tuning on that on my end, but yeah, crouching should be slower than that. Doesn't seem to really be any slower. Oh well, that's something we can play with over time. But yeah, that will get us started. So we've got our running with stamina regen. We've got our crouching, so let's just comment that in. Crouching. And there is the movement of our character. So we're going to compile and save. Okay, so that's that for this video. Thank you everybody for watching. Again, if you've liked the video, please let me know. If there's something that is not to your liking, or if I went over something a bit too quickly, you'd like to see things kind of gone over slower or differently, whatever, please let me know so that I can continue to make these videos better. And yeah, the likes, the comments, any sort of feedback, criticism you want to give, I love getting that, because it shows me that people are interested, and it does help me to get better. Okay? Again, if you want to be notified of all the upcoming videos or newly released ones, please hit the subscribe and then that nice little notify bell down there at the bottom. And yeah, we'll see you next time, where we're going to get into the gun part of our shooter game. Okay, we'll see you then, and bye for now.